Coming up on today's show, ESPN ranked 4 Mavericks in their top 100 NBA players for this season, and the latest Kyrie Irving update. Could we see Kyrie sooner than possibly expected? Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. Jeffrey Cooperstein here with you guys. Hope everyone is enjoying their week so far. We have a lot to get to today, but before we do, if you guys could go ahead and hit that like button for me, it'd be greatly appreciated. The thumbs up icon is the first thing you should hit once you click into a video. It's a free and easy way to help out our channel. If you like the content we're doing here and you want more daily Dallas Mavericks content, hit that thumbs up icon right now. The ESPN Top 100 for the Dallas Mavericks featured 4 players, and we'll start at number 95 with Mr. P.J. Washington, Mr. Ain't Going, Paul Washington Jr. He's been a key cog for the Mavericks over the last year and a half, and am I mildly surprised to see him on this Top 100 list? I kind of think I am, man. PJ's coming off the 4-year, $89 million extension that he signed with the Mavericks in about a month ago now. Wow, it's already been a month since he signed that extension. Pretty much. And look, he's been fantastic with the Mavs in his stint so far after being traded from the Charlotte Hornets at the 2024 NBA trade deadline, where he's averaged almost 14 points and 7 rebounds and 44% from the field and 35 from 3 as well. And where PJ has really excelled with the Mavericks is in the rebounding department. He was not this good of a rebounder in his first couple of seasons in Charlotte, and he's really just kind of transformed his game and elevated his game to another level here in Dallas with the Mavs. And now that he has this extension, he's locked in long term, the Mavericks need to continue PJ's growth into being not only a better player, but a better leader as well, and being a guy that is trusted on and off the court to get the job done. And there's an intriguing stat here from Timmy McMahon of ESPN. Shout out to Timmy Mack, who does a great job covering the Mavericks. PJ is one of 8 players to average 1 block per game and 1 steal per game last season with a minimum of 50 games played. He is a super impactful defender for this Mavericks team, and whether he starts or comes off the bench, I think he's going to do a little bit of both this season. You're going to see a lot of P.J. Washington on the court for the Mavericks in multiple positions. Dereck Lively comes in here at 73 overall in ESPN's top 100 players. Again, I'm a little bit surprised by this, and I love D-Live. Like, I think he's going to be one of the best centers in the league if he isn't already. I obviously have health concerns surrounding Dereck Lively, as he's missed a lot of games so far in his young NBA career, and I'll be very curious to see how his season unfolds. Like, will there be a true battle for the starting center spot in training camp? Will him and Daniel Gafford actually be competing for that, or will Jason Kidd kind of write him in ink as that starting center? I could see that as well. I could see Lively struggling a little bit, out of the gate. Like, he did have offseason surgery, I believe, and hopefully he'll be able to get to training camp at full speed, which is going to be something that would be nice because he really hasn't had a full healthy offseason to kind of build his body and work on things that he needs to work on. It's basically been full of rehab. So hopefully D-Live can just hit the ground running here in training camp. But it wouldn't shock me if he struggled a little bit out of the gate and it took him a while to get going. And this Mavericks team really can't afford that, if I'm being honest. Like, they need to hit the ground running, and they need to rack up as many wins as they can, as early as they can. The Mavs have historically not been a good team starting out of the gate, and I hope that this year can be a little bit different. They start the season with 5 straight games at home. Hopefully Dereck Lively can be a part of that and be a part of this Mavericks success this year. Look, a good Dereck Lively makes this Mavericks team so much better, and a healthy Dereck Lively makes this Mavericks team so much better. Cooper Flagg, the rookie, the first overall pick, comes in here at 52 overall. And look, I knew Flagg was going to be highly rated by NBA media and NBA analysts. I didn't know that he was going to be rated this high. Like, there are some names on this list who are very well established NBA players, and you could even argue Paul George is a future Hall of Famer in the NBA. Like, Flagg is rated higher than Paul George. He's rated higher than Miles Turner, who was just in the NBA Finals as one of the team's best players. He's rated higher than Trey Murphy, who Mavericks fans, and myself included, have been in love with for a few years on the New Orleans Pelicans and would love to get their hands on if the Mavericks were able to trade for him. And then Tyler Hero, who has averaged over 20 points a game in this league for a very long time now. He's one of the best pure scorers in the NBA, and now he is going to miss the first month of the season as well after he had surgery. But you're talking about established NBA guys who are making a lot of money, and they have Cooper Flagg rated over all of them. So I would say I'm mildly surprised by this one as well. And look, I think Flagg is going to be a fantastic player. Is he going to be better than Paul George right away? That certainly remains to be seen. Today's poll question is this, though. Do you think Flagg is overrated or underrated by this list? Do you think he's better than the 52nd best player in the NBA? Do you think he's worse? Type O for overrated, type U for underrated. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Look, I think Flagg is going to have a pretty good season, and I think he'll justify this ranking, and I don't think there's any question about that. But for me, it's a little too high, and I think you're putting like maybe unfair expectations on him, and we knew that coming into this season, Flagg was going to have unfair expectations simply because he was the number 1 overall pick. He won every award under the sun at Duke when you talk about National Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, ACC Freshman of the Year, Player of the Year, all of that. Cooper Flagg is coming in as a very, very, very highly touted prospect, and with that comes lofty expectations. And when he has a couple of disappointing nights in a row, like, are we just going to slam the panic button? We shouldn't, but I know we will because the expectations are that high for Mr. Flagg. So we'll have to see how the season plays out, and I do think he's going to have a very good season, don't get me wrong. I just think it's a little early to be saying he is a better player than those guys aforementioned on that list, like Miles Turner, like Tyler Hero, like other guys on that list as well. It's just not fair to Flagg to put those expectations on him, in my opinion. So we'll have to see how the games play out, but I'm excited to watch it this year, that's for damn sure. And then the final one, Anthony Davis coming in at number 14. And I think this is a very fair ranking by the ESPN Top 100 committee, whoever they may be, all of their national writers and whatnot. And look, it's a very big season for Anthony Davis, and it's a big season for him, and the Mavericks need him to have a big season. That it is a mutual feeling that this season is a big one for AD. Coming into this year, I think he's very motivated to show that he still has it, to show that he just wasn't a throw-in in the Luka Doncic trade, to show that, hey, I'm a future Hall of Famer as well. And Anthony Davis's legacy is cemented in the NBA. He will be enshrined in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. That much I can guarantee you. But will he endear himself to Mavericks fans? Will he be the top 15 player we all think he is? Will he be able to stay healthy and sustain an entire season's body of work? All of those questions need to be answered, and I think AD kind of hears the noise, feels the pressure a little bit, and knows that he has to perform in order to justify bringing him in here for a guy that, was on trajectory to be one of the greatest of all time. Like, AD is established as one of the greatest basketball players to ever play this game. The question is whether he can stay healthy and whether he can still do it at the level he was doing it with the Los Angeles Lakers just 2 years ago. I think that's a huge point of contention for this Mavericks team. If AD succeeds and plays well, Mavs are going to be pretty good. I think that's plain and simple, because if your best player is playing at an all-star level, you're going to be a good team. If Anthony Davis is constantly on the medical table and is constantly sitting out back-to-backs and is constantly nursing various injuries, then you have a problem, because then your best player isn't available, and your best ability is availability here in the NBA. Very excited to see how AD plays, though. There were some notable omissions here on this list, as Klay Thompson did not make the top 100, and I thought Klay had a pretty good year last year with the Mavericks. I still think he's a top 100 player in the NBA, so I would say that was probably a little disrespectful. And then Kyrie Irving didn't make it, not because they don't think he's on there, but they left off players who have season-ending injuries, such as Fred VanVleet, Jason Tatum, and Kyrie, and Tyrese Halliburton as well. So those guys weren't on the list. But if Kyrie was on there, he'd probably, be somewhere around 25, 30 or so. Kyrie, still an unbelievable player to watch. One of my favorite players of all time to just watch and enjoy how he plays the beautiful game of basketball. Guys, training camp is just 1 week away. Media day is 6 days away. It's next Tuesday. Don't miss a thing on the Mavs and subscribe today at youtube.com/MavsTV. We'll have you covered with all of the latest Mavericks news and rumors leading up to training camp, during training camp, and during the NBA preseason as well. There are some fascinating storylines to watch, and this is the place that we will break it all down right here. Subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a video. The latest Kyrie Irving update is pretty positive. He was seen doing a pretty intense on-court workout over at Dakota Wesleyan University. Kyrie does a lot of work up in the Dakotas with the Native American tribes up there and whatnot, where he's just constantly giving back to the community. And he was up there and was doing, there were videos circulating of him doing a really intense workout. He was getting a good sweat in, and he looked like he was moving around pretty well, getting some shots up. And all signs point to Kyrie, being ready to go when we thought he was going to be ready to go. We'll get to the exact timeline here in just a second. But if you want to get a Kyrie Irving jersey right now, head to chatsports.com/Kyrie and go get them before they run out. We've got multiple sizes and colors available for you guys, and you can support the channel by using that link at chatsports.com/Kyrie. Go get yourself. I think Kyrie is... I don't know if I'd call him a Mavs legend, but it's an iconic jersey to have, a Kyrie Irving Mavs jersey. Go get yourself one right now, chatsports.com/Kyrie. That link is in the comments and description of today's show. Like I said, he was recently doing work at Dakota Wesleyan University, and I'd be very excited to see Kyrie play if they can get him back before the All-Star break. Everything certainly does point to him being on schedule in his rehab. And the original report when he tore his ACL back in March against the Kings was that he was going to be ready somewhere in January. And I thought, yeah, there's just no way that he's back in 10 months from a torn ACL. But it kind of does seem like that he might be back at the end of January. My original thinking was don't expect Kyrie back before the All-Star break. Now I do think that is sort of in play given all of the reports that we've seen. I would say my expectation is still that he returns after the All-Star break, the game after the All-Star break on February 20th. But now I'll change my tune a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he was back prior to the All-Star break in the first half of February. And look, if he's back in the first half of February and is able to get a good amount of games in and really help this Mavs team down the home stretch, that can only help matters, and hopefully the Mavs would be able to solidify themselves as a top 6 team in the West and avoid the play-in altogether, and they head into the playoffs with Kyrie, with Anthony Davis, with Cooper Flagg, Klay, PJ, D'Angelo Russell, you name it, as one of the deepest, most versatile teams in the NBA. That was the vision for this team, and if Kyrie is back and healthy, then they could do some damage against some teams in the postseason. More or less than 30 games played for Kyrie this season. That is my more or less. That is what I'm going to project. Type M for more or type L for less down there in the comment section. With all the reports coming out, I think it could potentially be more, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. And that'll do it for today's show, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in to Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. Go and give me a follow on Twitter at Jeff_Coop27, where I'm always talking about the Mavs and other Dallas sports and whatnot. We can chop it up, talk some Mavericks basketball as we await the 25-26 NBA season to begin. Season opener is on October 22nd. We are less than a month away. Let's get it. Can't wait. And of course, let's go Mavs. Lyman.